Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Baby J TV. Like, comment, sub. I'm going to put this on Patreon first, so my patrons going to have early access. Don't forget to go on the link in the bio to get access to the Patreon. But let's get into it, man. Day 2 of the Freedom Convoy 2022. And here are just my quick notes. As you can see, I'm rolling some footage from the actual protest. And like yesterday, it was peaceful. It was peaceful. Of course, it was freezing. It was minus like 25 Celsius. If you convert that to Fahrenheit for my American viewers, I believe it's 1 or -2 Fahrenheit, right? So I don't know the conversion exactly. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I've coined this redneck caravana. Now, if you are a Canadian, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Caravana is this Caribbean festival that happens in Toronto, usually the first weekend of August, and it is basically all kinds of Caribbean people. All kinds of Caribbean people descend in Toronto from the United States, from all over Canada, and because there's a lot of things related to Caribbean culture that are happening all over the city. There's also a mixture of African cultures there as well, right? So it's it's a black festival. Long story short, you know what I'm saying? And this is what it felt like being at this, protest, right? It was basically a redneck festival. And I don't mean redneck in an offensive way. I'm saying we're talking about rural people, right? Rural people. So what I mean by that? A rural person is somebody who lives in the country, a small town, a small city, right? If you look at the demographics of Canada, we have about 37 million people. About 20 million, or let's say 25, live in big cities. We're talking Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Edmonton, Ottawa itself, actually, medium to big cities, right? But 15 to almost 20 million live in little cities, little communities. And that's how it felt like, because you got people here coming from Winnipeg, people coming from Red Hat, right, in Manitoba, right? All Alberta, my bad. All kinds of people descended on Ottawa who are more countryish, redneckish, little townish, right? They've never been to Ottawa, so a lot of them, right? And that's what it was. Now, look, there was very little mainstream media. We're talking about guys from CBC. We're talking about Global News. We're talking about CTV. These are Canadian media outlets. Very few of them. A lot of independent media, a lot of Rebel News, conservative media, by the way, Rebel News and all that. I actually interviewed a journalist from a Winnipeg-based independent journalist or website, news website. His interview is going to be on Patreon, so consider going to the Patreon. It supports me. I don't get paid for this. I do this for the love. I do this because this is who I am. So consider going to that. It's a great interview. So what about how are people reacting to this, right? Like people in Ottawa and everything like that. A lot of people in Ottawa are pissed, especially people who live downtown, because places have been closed. The truckers are quite loud. Sometimes it is disturbing. I'll be real. It's annoying, but people are peaceful. People are smoking weed. Okay, in this video, I'm gonna roast people smoking weed, getting drunk, getting tipsy. It's basically like a festival. It's like a country music festival. It's some damn boots and hearts type ish, right? So much so that cops are bored. Police are bored, right? Police are just walking around doing nothing because they don't have to do anything because people are very calm, very civil, right? What I noticed also is that there's less people this time, meaning yesterday, the Saturday one, the bigger protest, absolutely jam-packed. You couldn't even get any kind of movement. It was hard to even walk around. I might post a video from yesterday's protest. There was a lot more people. I noticed this time, though, there was a lot more black people, more minorities, right? And, I kind of like that. I like to see different people, different minorities, and yeah, I kind of like that. The thing I also noticed is that there was basically a collective frustration. Now, if we go on a deeper level, this is a collective frustration from conservatives, from people on the right, right? And I'm not going to be out here simping and pretending like, oh my God, these people are oppressed. Oh my God, this, Y, X, Y, and Z. No, they are privileged. They are white people in Canada, of course. But what it is that people in the rural part, almost half of Canada, is mad. They're pissed at these politicians. They're pissed at their own side. You know what I'm saying? They're pissed at the right. They're pissed at politicians specifically on the right. Aaron O'Toole. They're mad at him, right? They're mad at how the government has been restricting their lives for 22 months. You have people at this protest with different agendas and different points of views, right? But the common goal is that they're mad at the jab mandates, which is the reason I went personally. I am biased. I'm just telling you my bias. They're mad at the lockdown mandates, which I'm also cheesed about too. And they're mad about the politicians not doing for them and ignoring them. It felt like they were frustrated at the system, right? This what reminded me of like Occupy Wall Street. That's the most best American example. If you look at Occupy Wall Street, it was more so a leftist type of protest, right? Where they went to Wall Street in New York and they were protesting basically how the government had bailed out these major corporations. These individuals at this protest are mad that the government has not given them freedom for 22 months. They're mad about masks. They're mad about their children not going to school. They're mad about, being forced to get fired or leave their jobs because of choosing not to get a job, right? This was Occupy Wall Street, but Canadian. And I believe it's going to last for a week or until Justin Trudeau decides to do something, right? Instead of hide, right? I heard this nice pun. While the convoy rides, Trudeau hides. And that's exactly what he's doing, which is very weak. And a lot of people are mad at that, right? So for me, my experience, people are nice. Some were weirdos. Some were giving me weird looks. I don't give a F. For me, I was ready for war if it came to that. If it came to that, I was ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get into detail with that. But for me, I believe that you can be pro-black and anti-mandate. I believe you can be pro-black and a minority pro-Sikh. I saw some Sikh people who wear turbans. I saw Muslim people. I saw the concordium of different minorities, right? You can be all these things and anti-mandate, anti-jab, anti-lockdown, anti the things that surround this pandemic other than the actual, thing itself, right? And it really showed me that there's a massive difference between social media and real life, right? Especially in Ottawa here, you have a lot of people on socials claiming a lot of things, saying this is some racist movement and this is some crazy movement. That's not the air I got, because if it was racist, it would be very obvious very quickly. But do I believe that some of the people there are racist? Absolutely, 110%. Do I believe they're ignorant? Absolutely, 110%. But I personally believe that is, as Trudeau would say, a fringe minority, right? Maybe out of the close to 2,000-3,000 I saw, maybe 100 of them were like that. But I didn't experience that. I experienced people who were mad at 22 months of lockdowns, 22 months of restrictions, mad at their politicians, mad at the system, right? And social media will not show that. Mainstream media does not show that. Mainstream media is trying to paint a narrative, and this is something that they're also mad about too. They're trying to show a narrative that's not true. So let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Patreon gang already got this early. Love and appreciate y'all. Big Baby J, I might go a third time. I'm out, bro.